Michael Page has a living talent that cannot be hidden. It's turning away. After competing in a variety of combat sports, the British welterweight has made a name for himself with eccentric style. And of course, knockouts and deploy. Nicknamed Venom, he's become a shining beacon of Bellator, which draws the attention of the MMA world to the league. Today, we are going to recollect all his highlight blows responsible for dozens of unexpected concussions. Stay tuned. In this video, you will see the top 10 Michael Page arrogant KOs, mocks, and knocks. So make sure to watch this video to the end. Now let's get right into the video. Number 10, Jefferson Georgia. Some are called Pages are arrogant upstarts in the cage. Others know him as an adherent of semi-contact kickboxing, the type of sport that requires you to sell the judges every touch. After spending the 2000s as the star of amateur tournaments at Damascus and quite a collection of titles, Michael became famous yet not rich. So when an MMA career appeared on the horizon, he didn't have to think long. In August of 2012, he faced Jefferson Georgia. The cage and gloves came from MMA, but the K1 rules were an interesting idea before moving on to martial arts. Over the bout, Michael floated around the canvas, effortlessly jawed, swinging with now and then Venom would sting with his flash right hand, catching the opponent off guard, and that's the end of the MVP chance. Oh, spinning back kick to the front page. Big shot man in Jefferson Georgia, until eventually it brought the storyline to an end. After feigning a blunt Jefferson's reaction and sharpening his impedance, Page had Jefferson crucified on the floor. In the context of stylish knockouts, Michael's viral star in MMA is something that cannot be overlooked. Number 9, Ben Dishman. Ben Dishman, a debutant, was the one that tested Page's elusiveness in the cage. Straight away, Ben attempted to ground the opponents. Oh, rushing in his pitchman. The second trial failed as well, with Venom proving to be a better wrestler than he needs to do to close the range. Once Michael stood back up, he started picking his shots with his inherent cynicism. Why no? Oh, rapidly discouraged. Dishman went into a relentless defense that Tony is out the opposite down. Number 8, Ryan Sanders. Knowing that his chances of seeing glory in England are as bad as getting a letter from Hogwarts, the knockout wizard signed with Bellator in March 2013. He was welcomed onto American soil by Ryan Sanders. The submission specialist with a hoard of 3 records was set up to check the British grappling in action. Sanders, however, ended up face down on the floor anyway. Number 7, Ricky Rainey. Michael in May 2014. It was Ricky Rainey who became Page's first formidable opponent in Bellator with 5 Chios over 9 victories. The so-called sniper not only knew the right way to take hits, but was also totally capable of throwing a few of his Rainey shots. The bell in round number 1 is still right at the beginning of the encounter. The gap in skills seem to be evidence. If your Ricky Rainey can't afford to follow this guy blindly, he will not do out that cutoff. In his pursuit of Venom, the American looked as if he was trying to catch the wind to close the distance. Age, it seems, a little last. Even facing away, Michael kept control of the events. On the counter, the strike man Page was the referee Kevin McDonald, not even looking at Rainier, looking away from his right hand. By mid-round, already raised his head and was picking up all of the bricks shots from the distance. The game group boring for Page. In the 5th minute, the real cage sniper charged a headshot from the right. As her Rainey in this bout, he's earned the cross-eyed machine gunner nickname at most. Number 6, Jonathan Castano. In 2017, Page fronted himself in a difficult situation for the first time and had long been trying to get into a fight with Paul Daly. The prominent compatriot, however, had different plans. Over his no-bout idling days, Michael grew a passion for professional boxing. The box office success of the McGregor-Mayweather fight only fueled this desire. Upon signing with David Hayes' promotion, Page stepped into the ring in October of 2017. He was opposed by Jonathan Castano with a frustrating 2-11 records. In the first round, Michael easily scored single jabs, showing the lightning-fast right was hitting the target to a true Page physically really does recall. The end of the second round was marked by several thunderous combinations. During his masterclass, The game to Jeff Lacey Joe Kanzaki suffered that night up in Manchester as Michael Venom's Page. After putting the opponent to rest, Venom decided to make Bellator great again and return to MMA without no money. Number 5, Shinzo Anzai. In 2019, Bellator was determined to expand its horizons and hold a New Year's event in Japan. The arena full of samurai had a chance to see such greats as Feeder and Rampage Jackson. Future UFC contender Michael Chandler also made an appearance. As for Venom, he was scheduled up against Shinzo Anzai, the Japanese Octagon veteran, with a 9-3 record, was anything but a deserter. Hiding an unshakable will under his beard, Zeiss survived some lethal bombs. By the end of the round, the samurai's fate seemed to be destined towards the caves, all smartly shot, and yet even armor-piercing knees fired directly at him didn't knock Shinzo out with a little stutter step. But what I said about playing, but in the end, as the saying goes, there can be only one champion, and he started to look like a kid. Just like sometimes a fighter is too tough at his peril that needs to be rescued. The ref did a great job, and Page left soccer land with a whole new crowd of fans. Number 4, Rudy Bears. In July 2015, not yet a contender, but already a global phenomenon. Michael confronted Rudy Bears, who'd been known as a complete fighter, so that's what happens. You get tagged. Yes, 7 fights, and what Page showed there was more of a performance than a duel. Chambra had some success getting inside for a full minute. He masterfully maintained the appearance of intrigue. The Bears get to take down himself, but still want the hand wave launched, and Venom could no longer be stopped. Oh, left, and it's over, just like that. And the Express. The fire extravaganza lasted for a good 65 seconds, with a classy single-touch knockout included. Number 3, Giovanni Melillo. In November 2019, Page brought Bellator to London for the 3rd time and became the headliner. At first, he was opposed by Giovanni Melillo, the organization's debutant. The flamboyant Italian with a 13-4 record at 8 Chios was pretty well known in Europe. Nevertheless, he didn't get to snatch the big score in London, utilizing pendulum footwork. Venom didn't even need to pick up his tempo. Number 2, Richard Kiley. September 2019 could have been a tipping point in Michaels' career. Before that, he'd spent 4 months recovering from his first loss to Douglas Lima and get an infamous low kick, and the uppercut from hell didn't seem to have any impact on Venom's frisky nature at all. Having reset the opposition level to 0, the league gave Michael a little-known Richard Kiley, the local Irishman with a 3-1 record who claimed to have black belts and kickboxing and kung fu. His street attitude, however, showed how you're killing. It even drew the ref's attention during the fight. Although once Page threw Richard on the canvas and proceeded with a series of sweeping shots from the top, he tried to capture the moment. An imaginary selfie in front of the already irritated referee cost him a point. This, however, didn't help Kiley, having ducked under the overhand once. Number 1, Cyborg Santos. A series of crashes led the Page to a gorgeous toehold. But that wasn't how the purebred puncher wanted to enter the list of MMA masterpieces. Already in July, he received Ivanka Lisa Santos, nicknamed Cyborg, the 38-year-old veteran who had been in the sport since the 90s. Notably, every bout he fought was barely different from a brutal meat grinder. Both fries are not hay. These issues are real. Despite the merits of the Brazilian, the Briton started the battle with a real fusillade, just handle the speed of MVP. He was even better and wrestling. Good right hands. However, Michaels' attempt to fit in the flying knee gave Santos the chance for a much-needed takedown. Ice Page's endeavor to grab the leg of the BJJ black belt was unsuccessful. Let me save him right now. Cyborg didn't seize the opportunity either, fruitlessly dragging the bout to a break. The second round opened like the previous one, and Michael still couldn't pull the trigger. Certainly, closer leaning in. The beginning of the end was marked by a ramming liver shot time and 100-yard dash. It's forever, and it was the Cyborg's attempt to fight back that brought him down for good. Who's off the lie shot, it can come back into the jump. The Brazilian head-on ran into the counter knee, then correct Cyborg's frontal bone, and gave him a steel plate in his skull. Fortunately, the funeral service was only read to the opponent's fighting career. Later on, Santos went on the men celebrating Page called a Pokemon, and the sports Oscar for Knockout of the Year. Lie shot can come back. After leaving kickboxing canvases a decade ago, Michael made his mark in MMA as well. And even though he's 35 now, Page still drives at winning revs. His tail does not just throw kicks and punches, it's the ability to truly enjoy the process deploy. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoy the video. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the post notification. Thanks for watching.